Retired San Diego Police Chief William Lansdowne and San Diego Chief Deputy District Attorney David Greenberg. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Good to see you, Peggy.
Hello.
Good to see you. Now, Chief Lansdowne, you co-authored this proposition with San Francisco District Attorney George Gascon to reduce penalties for non-violent crimes, felons specifically, to misdemeanors. What kind of crimes are we talking about?
What we're talking about is petty theft, it's personal possession of small amounts of drugs, it's writing a bad check, all under $950. It's embezzlement of writing false checks, some ID theft. It's really treating misdemeanors for what they are.
But right now, some of those are felons, like the check writing. Those in favor of felonies, I should say, those in favor of Prop 47 say that it'll actually improve public safety and it'll save taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. How so?
Well, I can tell you the prison system's broken. The federal government had to come in and do realignment because public safety couldn't fix it. It clearly is going to reduce the numbers of people in prison. There's about 10,000 that are in their last 3 years that it would affect. And the money saved, anywhere from $100 million to $250 million a year, goes into three things. One is mental health and drug prevention. That's 65%. 25% goes to school, to keep kids in school. If kids graduate from school, the propensity to be involved in crime is lessened considerably, or 10% of it goes to victims of crime.
So that's the public safety aspect that's addressing that spending on that, because it seems counterintuitive to say that, hey, we're going to reduce these felonies to misdemeanors, but it's going to improve public safety.
Well, they still get sanctions. They still go to local jails, and the studies clearly show that in the local jails they get far better service. 50% of the people in prison today are suffering from mental illness. It starts to address that before they get to prison.
Well, let me ask you this, David. Do you agree with that assessment as far as public safety and also the spending? Will it save money?
I don't agree with it. I don't think currently all of those theft offenses, if they're $950 or below, we prosecute them as misdemeanors if the person has no criminal history. So what happens is it's taking away the flexibility of people that are repeat offenders that do this crime again and again and again, or have a serious criminal history of, say, robberies or residential burglaries, and treating them as more serious felons. In terms of saving money, because of realignment, which was passed by the legislature in October of 2011, most of the offenders committing these offenses are not in state prison. They're in local jail already. The ones that aren't in local jail for those offenses have a prior strike offense. So that's the only way people committing those types of offenses can get to prison now. So the savings to the state isn't going to be as much, and the initiative itself talks about the Department of Finance determining the savings to the state, not the savings to local jurisdictions.
And you have expressed some other unintended consequences. What do you mean by that?
Well, in terms of other unintended consequences, what's going to happen is people will be released, obviously, from prison that are violent and dangerous folks that would have stayed there. The standard of dangerousness is, do they have prior convictions for offenses that don't happen that often, and they're either in prison, such as they received a sentence for a murder, or a present commitment for a life term, or possessed a weapon of mass destruction.
So it sounds like it's exclusive with you. Now, Chief Lansdowne, you mentioned about dedicating money to mental health services and K through 12 programs. Don't we already have programs like that already in place?
We have some programs, but it's not a lot. I look a lot at different programs within the court system to deal with drugs. Currently here in San Diego County, the number I looked at is, since in the last 17 years they've treated 3,000 people for drug court. There are 23,000 charges a year in San Diego County for drugs. It needs to be expanded. It needs to be put at the front end, and we need to work with people before they get to jail and prison.
And let me get your response on that. Our programs, do you think they need to be expanded?
I think we do need programs. I think we need to follow the example of Texas, who didn't reduce their crimes to misdemeanors, but they directed more money to treatment. And also the people that have simple possession of drug offenses, they don't go to prison or jail right away. There are several steps in between. There's diversions. It takes about 5 or 6 violations before somebody actually is going to spend any time in custody. And in order for the drug court, the reason drug court's successful is there's consequences.
All right, well, we do have to end it there. There's a lot more on our website, kpbs.org. Chief Deputy District Attorney Dave Greenberg and retired San Diego Police Chief William Lansdowne, thank you.
Thank you, Peg.